Hey, MCE crew, as we move toward 2030, I'm continually telling you all that 2030 is kind of like the finish line for a lot of the resets that we're going to see with regard to the economy. Now, we're starting to see some of the acceleration of that with regard to government becoming much more assertive in how they control your money. And if you're not careful, then you may find yourself in a position where if you don't adhere to certain government rules, regulations, or ideas even, then you might find yourself without access to your funds. We're starting to see that sort of system developed. Now, look, I'm going to talk to you today about ways that we can mitigate that and maintain control over our financial situation. Because if we can't do that, we can never be financially independent, truly. So we got to think outside the box, and we got to use the mechanisms and processes that are available to us legally, okay, to, skirt this. And you might be saying, well, look, if they're creating this system as governments, okay, the global governments, okay, not just the United States, are endeavoring toward this. So you might be saying, if that's the way they're going, then how can we possibly sidestep that? Well, because there are rules written into certain codes, like the tax code, that advantage the people that make the rules. So to the extent we can emulate whatever they're doing in order to legally mitigate the rules and work within the framework of the new regulations to advantage ourselves and maintain our financial independence, we should. All right, we got two things that are examples of what I'm talking about. Let's go into that first. Now, you probably are well aware of what's going on up in Canada, Ottawa, Canada, with regard to the truckers' protest of mandates. You know what kind of mandates I'm talking about. Let me digress for just a second. YouTube has come out with a new edict saying basically that they're going to pre-scrub videos and, make it much more onerous and impossible to get certain truths out there. Now, this is a company, YouTube, that is run by Google. You also may be watching this video on Rumble or Facebook, but these big guys like Google, they if you search Google for certain topics, you're just not going to find them because they've done an excellent job of configuring their algorithm to give you the company line, so to speak. Google is run by people who have a certain ideological bent, all right? And they put their ideals and their ideology, they inject that into the algorithm. So you're not going to find certain news items, not easily, okay? For example, the country of Turkey, and let me just add, Turkey wants to be known as Turkiya, okay? They've got an application in with the UN to change their name. Countries do that from time to time, but Turkey, they have, for now, suggested that citizens surrender their gold so that that gold can be converted into Turkish lira, okay, the currency of Turkey, and help the country get out of the inflation spiral that it's in. Now, inflation in Turkey is at least 50%, all right? Some people, there was this John Hopkins professor, I forget his name, I apologize for that, but he even clocked it at 80%. So it's between 50 and 80%, all right? Now, it's so bad that when you convert Turkish lira into dollars, you're only getting like 8 cents, okay? Each lira is worth 8 cents, okay, off of the dollar. So the lira is not buying much. Guy did a video on a McDonald's Big Mac meal, the #1, and it was close to $30, okay? 30 US dollars cost you for that meal. So you can see that times are tight in Turkey thanks to inflation. And why does the inflation exist? Well, there are a variety of reasons. #1, the premier or the president or prime minister, whatever his position is, over in Turkey, Erdogan, he continues to cut interest rates when in an inflationary environment, what he should be doing is raising interest rates. But he doesn't like that idea. Anybody that suggests it gets fired. And, here they are. So right now, they have suggested that people turn in their gold and it will be converted to lira, put into a bank account, and kind of create a demand, false demand, for the lira. Now, the reason why Turkish citizens are saving in gold is because they don't trust the lira. That's where the Turkish citizens are very, very wise, okay? And they've got it all over us in America and many of the Western countries in that department, all right? Because they don't trust the lira, and they've been proven right. Now the government is saying, hey, take this, gold under the mattress and give it to us. We're going to convert it into lira, and you're going to help out the whole country. Now, the finance minister over there, he's saying that he expects to get about 10% of the gold. And they're saying that Turkey has anywhere from, they have 5,000 tons. And depending on how you value it, they could be looking at between $250 billion to $325 billion if they were able to get their hands on all of that, which even the finance minister says is not going to happen. Okay, so the issue over in Turkey is that, again, gold is popular. Okay, the Turkish citizens, remember, this is a country that has in some form or fashion existed for a mighty, mighty long time, longer than the United States. In terms of that region, that culture. The same thing is true with China and India, okay, and Russia. These are cultures that have been around for a long, long time. May have changed names, changed a little bit of their geography in terms of their sovereign territory, but they've been around. And because of that, they know the value of gold. It's generational in terms of its importance. So I tend to agree with the finance minister. I don't even think he's going to get 10% because you're actually telling me to trade in my gold for a currency that I'm trying to hedge against anyway. That's why I'm collecting the gold in the first place. You wouldn't be too wise, and I think the Turkish citizens are much wiser than that. So suggesting is the first step, but doing anything more than that, okay, on the government's part, what are you going to go door to door looking for gold? How's that going to work? Okay. So Turkey's in a bit of a fix, but what it proves is that these governments around the world are looking for ways to shore up their balance sheets, and now they're becoming a little bit more assertive in terms of looking at the citizen, okay, to, basically mitigate all of the bad decisions that have been made by the so-called wizards of smart, okay, all these ministers and cabinet members and, department heads. And you might say, well, thank God that's not happening in the United States. Yeah, sure it is. We're doing it in the form of tax increases, okay? Not just at the federal level, but at the state level. But most states have a balanced budget amendment, meaning, and they just can't print money. They don't have a printing press like the Fed does to print up U.S. dollars. And they've got to balance their budgets, meaning that they can't run these deficits, all right, in the states. But the federal government has and continues to. The deficit is out of control. So here we see another example, and we're going to go through a lot more of these, but this is another example of how rapacious these governments are becoming with regard to, saying, hey, it's not looking good. Let's turn to the citizen. Now, again, are they going to do something more than that? If I was a Turkish citizen, I certainly wouldn't be wearing a gold necklace out in public anytime soon, or any gold jewelry, because I know now that the government has its eye on collecting that and converting that into their trash currency. So I'd be very careful about that if I was a Turkish citizen. Now, they'll probably also do stuff like this. if you try to immigrate to a different country and take your gold with you, they're probably going to seize that. All right. When you go to leave, they used to do that but they probably still do in places like Iran, where if you say, hey, I'm leaving the country, and your intent was to never come back, but you were trying to make it look like you were just going for a couple of weeks and coming back, they would take a look at, hey, what kind of jewelry you got on? This might be indicative of you trying to get out of here and get out of here with stuff that's convertible to some money, some currency somewhere. So what can we do? Well, look, if I'm the United States of America did have a period at which it outlawed personal possession of gold. Now, this went over, as you might expect. The citizens basically ignored it because, again, the government is going to have a difficult time finding it, okay? What are you going to do here in America or many of the Western countries? You want to break down doors looking for gold? I can't see that happening anytime soon. So if you are someone who is hedging against inflation with physical gold, and they come at you with, hey, we're seizing gold and we want you, okay, whatever. How are you going to prove I got it? Yeah, sure. I might have filled out a receipt somewhere, but how do you know I didn't give that away? So it's a non-issue from that standpoint. And this is something you're going to hear me talk about more often. I think it's time to start seriously looking at divesting from the big banks. Because the big banks they're tied at the hip with the government and the central banks of various governments. And they're doing a lot more in terms of trying to control the money trying to control the money that you possess, okay, and how you spend it, when you spend it, how they tax it. The United States just did this thing where they're saying every $600 transaction has to be tracked when you do it over Venmo, Cash App, those types of apps. Every $600 transaction. And the reason they gave is because millionaires and billionaires are not paying their fair share of taxes. Well, we all know that Bill Gates, Elon Musk, they're not making a lot of $600 transactions over Venmo. Okay, that mechanism is designed to ensnare the kid working at McDonald's who may, throughout a year, transfer or accept $600 or more into a Venmo or like account. So they're attacking, yes, I said attacking, they're attacking the small fry, the poor, the middle class, because they want every dime. And the United States is not willing to change the tax code to disadvantage those who make the laws. All right. So they'll say out of one side of their mouth they're going after millionaires and billionaires, but they know that they have attorneys and armies of CPAs. The middle classes and the poor do not. So they're an easy target. So that's who they're coming after. So yeah, you want to talk with your financial professionals. You want to have an honest conversation, and you want to do some of your own due diligence about how you can ensure your purchasing power. All right. And if your professional doesn't know what the hell you're talking about, you need to get a new professional. Gold and silver help you do that. Now, I'm not saying that's right for you, but it does. That's the mechanism by which gold and silver, that's what they do. That's what those precious metals do. So if your financial professional says, oh, no, don't mess with gold, don't mess with silver, you got to ask yourself, why are they saying that? Is it because they don't receive a commission on that? I'm in the financial services industry, and we don't receive any commission on gold whatsoever, but I want to do what's right for my clients, and I want to give them the type of advice that's going to help them not only achieve, but maintain financial independence. Okay, guys? So that's what Turkey is doing. We talked about what the United States is doing with the $600. We're going to be seeing more and more of this type of activity where governments are asserting more and more control over your money and making it more and more challenging, not impossible, but more challenging for you to achieve financial independence. But that is what this channel is for, and we're going to continue to keep up the good fight, guys. I'll talk to you soon. To learn more about how you can achieve financial independence, check out these videos we recently posted on the Money Changes Everything channel.